Tressa, hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. Well, today I think we're going to make a soup. I've never made this before. I think you call it loaded potato soup. Sometimes they call it loaded baked potato soup. Anyway, I've never made this, but I really do enjoy it. And I kind of want to make my own. Now, I'm going to base my recipe off of this. This is a little packet I got. There's no MSG, no artificial flavors, which is great. I do not like MSG. As you can see, I already have a problem with salt. Anyway, there's a few ingredients, so you know I will be adding. The soup's very forgiving. You can add whatever you like, what seasonings you like, what vegetables you like. This one's very simple, but I like that the amount of liquid compared to the amount of potatoes. I'm going to probably go off of this. The only thing is, this is for a slow cooker, which I could do in my Instant Pot, but I'm kind of in a hurry, so I want to try it in the Instant Pot and pressure cook it. So it should be pretty quick. And I don't have one of those immersion blenders, so I'm going to have to just mash mine a little bit. But I'm going to have 3 different kinds of potatoes because it calls for Yukon Gold potatoes. I don't know why I'm looking at this. I can't really see without my glasses. I can see a little bit. Anyway, I have a couple of red potatoes, and I bought some organic Yukon Gold potatoes. You know, I'm not really familiar with those. I usually buy red ones. And I already cooked off a little bacon right here because I'm going to garnish with bacon. And I'm also going to saute my onions and my whatever vegetables I decide to use in the Instant Pot. And I have a little butter and a little bacon grease. So I'll cook the bacon first so I could add it to the Instant Pot. So I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you enjoy the recipe. And who doesn't like cheese and potatoes and bacon? So potatoes, I have like 3. I have a russet potato in the refrigerator, but I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to stick with these. And you know, I'm not sure if I'm going to peel them all. I like the peeling on the red potatoes. I like to leave it on. And these are very thin. So I'm just going to cut off some pieces and probably cut them in small chunks. But let me start that. I already have most of my vegetables chopped. And of course, I'm going to put that jalapeno that you see right there. And let me cut this, and then we'll get started. I started heating up I put 2 tablespoons of butter, and just a little bit of that bacon fat, I guess is what you call it. I call it grease. But the recipe calls for half a cup of onion, which, you know, I don't cook with a half cup of onion ever. I don't care really what kind of recipe it is. No, I like a lot of onion, so you can cook it like you want. And I'm going to saute these first because I think it adds more flavor. Now you could throw it all in. That's what the recipe says, to dump it all in the slow cooker and just let it go. But I'm going to try the Instant Pot, and I do find that if you brown your stuff, which you don't have to, it does have a little bit more flavor. It's not that you don't have to do it. But, I'm going to throw in now I seeded this. It was quite big, but this one I got from the store. I think I'm going to skip the Thai chilies on this recipe. That pork gravy with the Thai chili was so good. It's a little heavy though. Now I remember why I don't cook that kind of rice and gravy that often. But I'll tell you what, it is good. So I'm going to add just a little bit of seasoning right now. I'm going to add 1 bay leaf. And look, mine don't look very good, but I'm just going to throw that in there. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt because I am going to be using, the recipe calls for, this is the tricky part. The Instant Pot versus the slow cooker. This is half vegetable stock because I opened one, and I don't use vegetable stock that often, but I'm not going to waste it. So this is half vegetable, half chicken. The vegetable stock is unsalted, but the chicken stock is not. And I'll show you the ones that I have. I usually stick with this brand, which it doesn't really matter. Sometimes I buy the organic bone broth. This one, actually my husband bought this vegetable stock, and I forgot why we got it. And you know I'm going to put garlic. It doesn't even call for garlic, but I don't think I can cook without garlic, actually. And this is my little jar. We're not going to throw all this in because it will, you know, take over. I do need to use this up pretty soon, though. And I have my potatoes here. I ended up peeling them, and I just put them in some water. And I tasted them raw. The Yukon Gold are softer, and the red ones are a little firmer and a little sweeter. But the other ones had a nice smooth flavor. Now that's raw. I don't know if I'm cooked, but okay. Let's throw in a little bit. You can do whatever you want. Put celery in here. This is just some onion powder I found on sale. I'm not gonna add a lot because I already added onion, and I always add a little garlic powder. Kroger had that my favorite is it's called the Private Selection. It's the Kroger brand, and it's called it's called California Roasted Garlic Powder, and it's my favorite. And I'm also going to add a little bit of ground thyme. I just think just a pinch. Not even, probably like 1/4 of a teaspoon. I find that goes really well with soups. So let me let this cook for a minute, and then I'll bring you back, and then basically we're just going to dump everything in and decide how long we want to cook. I have to grate some cheese, so I'll be back. I forgot to say that was a quart of a red onion that I had already sliced, so I wanted to use it, so I chopped it, and then I used half of a yellow onion. So I find, you know, red onions are really mild. You could use shallots. That's a really mild onion flavor. I don't really buy those too much, but this smells really good already. You know what, I forgot to say that I'm going to go ahead and add just a pinch of salt. And this is kosher salt with pink salt mixed in. It's like, I need a real salt container, but just a pinch. And you can always, we're going to taste it at the end and just decide if we need more salt. It's going to have cheese, stock, you know, and this package, well, I don't know how much sodium is in here. And I need my glasses to tell you. I'll be right back. In case you want to go off this recipe completely, you could screenshot this. It also shows the ingredients. The sodium is quite high, but it's okay. I think it'll be alright. And you don't really have to use this unless you want to. Because it calls for milk, but I'm probably going to make it a little heavier because I have some heavy cream that I need to use. But as I've been baking, I cook my bacon in the oven because that's my favorite way to make it. You could also saute your bacon in here and just put it in the soup if you wanted to. You know what? I think adding a bay leaf in time is a good decision. So let me saute it a little bit longer, and I think I'm gonna add this to my stock and whisk it in, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this because let me smell it. I think it's gonna be delicious. You know, I've been eyeing this for quite a while, but I never bought it. Oh, it's just like red bell pepper, salt, paprika. Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'll pour it into my stock and whisk it in. But I do want my onions to be a little bit more cooked, but not much longer. Onions will pick up a little caramelization on the bottom. So now I drained my potatoes a little bit, so we're just going to throw these in. That's about 6 to 7 potatoes. We'll never probably eat this much, but now the Instant Pot is a lot different than the slow cooker. So let's start with this 3 cups, and look, I'll whisk the packet in. I'm not gonna. Let's see. I'm gonna pour it slowly so I can see exactly where I am. Oh, enough. I'll chop the potatoes up pretty small so it can go pretty fast. That way you can put it back on saute and adjust whatever you want. The thickness, the seasonings. I'm pouring it all. That packet does not want to dissolve. Alright, so let's just give it a little stir. And if I do add any more stock, I think I might add the vegetable because it is unsalted. And I opened it first. But that looks perfect to me. You know, we forgot black pepper. I don't know how I forgot black pepper. The recipe is really basic. And you should probably follow it the first time, but like soup is forgiving. You can make it look just however you want. So let's put the lid on. And you know what? It's not going to take too long to cook. I got to put my glasses on. I'm trying to make this video too long. Okay, so I'm going to put it on soup for 12. It says 12 minutes. I'm going to do 10. And we will see what 10 minutes does. I wanted to ask you guys, this has been my favorite knife. As you can see close up, it's really messed up. I sharpened it with 2 different tools and I messed it up, and it's pretty old and it's really cheap. But I want another knife about this size. I like the Santuco, that's what I call it, kind. If you know the best kind, not like that's like what is the most expensive, but like just a good knife. Because I'll cut green onions, and this side will not cut. It'll be like just little cuts in the green onion, but it won't cut all the way through on this side. So anyway, that's just what I would ask. Just if you don't mind, if you could let me know, I'd appreciate it. For this recipe, I made like six or seven slices of bacon, but I accidentally ate one, so I crumbled it up, and I'm gonna save it for garnish in this little bowl. And you can totally skip the bacon if you want to, but I forgot to say how many I made. I wanted to show you. I'm gonna use this. You could use whatever cheese you have. You could put, whatever. You could put some Parmesan. You could put mozzarella. You could put medium cheddar, mild cheddar, sharp cheddar. But you know what? Since I'm splurging and eating this carb soup anyway, I think I'm gonna put a block of Velveeta. I think I decided I'm gonna do that because it's just so good and creamy. And since I didn't put a lot of salt, I think it can take it. But anyway, we'll see how it turns out with the milk and cream and stuff. Do natural release for like 12 minutes, and now I just did the steam vent. So, ow, it's hot. Don't touch it like that. Once I open it, I'll show you what it looks like. It looks really good right now. So, let me see how soft the potatoes are. Oh, they're perfect. They're not too soft. Now, let me mash these and try to get it a little creamy, and then we'll go to the next. I should have bought one of those stick blenders before I did this recipe, but I think it's a little thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more chicken stock and I'll show you. And I put it on saute, but I put it on medium. I probably should put it on low, but I'm going to thin it out just a little bit. It depends on how thick you like it. And let's stir this around and see. I just don't want to burn it. That's why I put it on I usually saute on the high button. So now we're going to add, this is half a cup of milk and half a cup of heavy cream. And I'm going to just pour it slowly until I see what it looks like, basically. I think I'm going to use it all. And you could totally not add this if you really wanted to keep it dairy-free. I tasted it. It does need a little salt, but it's pretty good. And I may add a little bit more, to be honest with you. And I always make way more than I need. Can you freeze this stuff? I think you can. Okay. So now we're going to stir this around a little bit, and I've got a lot of cheese. The recipe calls for, I think, a half cup now and a half cup later, but we like a lot of cheese. So there's a little bit of Velveeta and a little bit of sharp cheddar. Let's just add a little bit at a time. Now, if you were doing this in a slow cooker, you would just put the cheese in the milk and then cook it on high again for 30 more minutes. So with the Instant Pot, I'm not sure. I could put it on slow cook because Ella's not home from school yet. But I'm just going to do it like this. And it'll stay, I can keep it on keep warm. And I like a lot of cheese. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Oh, that's a big old. Might as well just throw it all in. I'm going to probably make a side with this. Some meat with this, because we really do try to eat a lot of protein, but I've always wanted to make this soup. And my next soup, I'd like to want to make broccoli cheddar soup. I love that soup too. Okay, that looks pretty good. You know what I forgot? Parsley. Let me let this melt. I don't want to make the video too long. I'm sorry. I just keep on rambling, and I'll bring you back. Pretty good. And I'm going to keep stirring to make sure it doesn't burn. I added just a tiny bit more heavy cream. I buy this one. I don't like to buy this one because it does not last long at all. So we're going to add a little bit of salt. A little bit because the cheese is salty. And definitely more pepper. I like a lot of pepper on potatoes. I don't know why. And I have a bacon on the side, green onions, and sour cream. You could put jalapenos. You could put whatever you wanted for a garnish. And I think I want to add, no, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Parsley, yes, that's what I was going to do. Parsley. Even though we're going to add green onions, we could add some now, too. Just add a little bit of parsley. And so I don't scorch it, I'm going to turn it off of saute. And I'll put it on keep warm. So let me grab my little spoon and see if it's any good. I think Ella's gonna really like this. Oh man, that is really, really good. Okay, well, we'll be back once we serve it up, and we'll do a taste test. I don't know if I'm gonna do it by myself or wait for Ella to get home. We have an appointment to go to, so we'll be home a little bit late, but anyway, we will definitely do a taste test though. One little thing, I'm gonna add just a pinch of this too, for a little bit of heat, just a little bit. Probably like half a teaspoon. Well, I'm back. Ella's back. I'm gonna do my taste test. I'm just got a little bowl because I'm gonna actually make something else. But I tasted this soup already several times. I actually couldn't stop tasting it earlier. This soup, I don't want to brag, but I killed it. It is so delicious. And the garlic and the onions, they don't overpower, in the thyme, the bay leaf, it just works. And I can still taste the potatoes and the cheese. The only thing I didn't show you guys is I did, while it was hot, I did add a couple of green onions inside the soup, and then I've garnished it on top. But it's so good. And that little bit of Velveeta is so good. Added a little sour cream, bacon bits, real bacon, and green onions. Oh, in the Instant Pot, 10 minutes. I hope you try this. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a delicious soup. I actually like this better than any restaurant I've ever had. And Ella already devoured some. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't for more delicious recipes. And I hope you really enjoyed the video. Come back and see me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.